Hello friends, welcome to a new Happy Learning video. Today we're going to learn about the first and most important of human civilizations. Today we're going to learn about Mesopotamia. The word Mesopotamia means between two rivers in Greek. So this civilization was named because it's situated between two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. Within these fertile lands, the first ever city-states were born 4,000 years before Christ. The most important cities were Ur, Uruk, and Lagash. These city-states were independent from each other. They were surrounded by a great wall to protect themselves. The ziggurat, a temple where priests lived, was built in the center of the city. Here, they controlled trade, agriculture, and taxes. The supreme priest had the city's political and religious power. Agricultural fields spread across these cities, which were traversed by irrigation channels that used the river's water to water cultivations and animals would drink. Most of the city's citizens were farmers and shepherds, but there were also artisans that sold their own products at markets. Because of their well-being, both cities began to grow, but so did the conflicts between them due to the control of land. These battles arose military leaders that little by little turned into monarchs, into kings. Between the years 3000 and 1000 BC, Mesopotamian lands were conquered by various towns or cities. The first one was the Akkadian Empire, then the Babylonian Empire, followed by the Assyrian Empire, and finally the Persian Empire. So, we've got to know part of Mesopotamia's history, but do you know why it has been such an important civilization for humanity? Well, there are many reasons, but the first one is because Mesopotamia was where around 3500 BC the first written language was found. At first, it was composed by simple drawings called pictograms. Look at these examples. Over time, these drawings were simplified and started to transform into symbols, which is what we know today as cuneiform writing. As you can see, this writing was made with a wooden punch over clay boards. Another great contribution Mesopotamia made was its art. They created the ark and vault that helped them construct magnificent temples and palaces. To decorate the walls and doors within these temples and palaces, they used paintings like this one, where the king Ashurbanipal is hunting lions. By the way, before we say goodbye, do you know what country Mesopotamia is today? Well, it's Iraq. You can see it here. Goodbye, friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning TV.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hello, friends. Welcome to a new Happy Learning video. As you can see in the images, today we're going to talk about pyramids, mummies and pharaohs. Today, we're going to travel to ancient Egypt. Egypt is a country that still exists today, situated in northeastern Africa. But what we call ancient Egypt is a civilization that started more than 5,000 years ago and lasted for approximately 3,000 years. Its origins commences with Pharaoh Name, also known as a Scorpion King, who in 3200 BC funded this country at the Nile's bank. The River Nile is the largest river in Africa and was the most important existing thing for Egyptians since they depended on its water to survive. Their whole civilization and cities rose from the river's bank. The Nile was so important because Egypt is a country surrounded by desert and the cultivations could only take place at its shores. But it wasn't only used for agriculture. The river was also used to fish and hunt. They also used it as a great road to transport goods or large stone blocks used for their constructions. All of this was why the Nile was considered to be a god. Actually, ancient Egyptians had hundreds of gods. Some had a human's body and an animal's head, like goddess Bastet, who had a lion's head, or god Anubis and his jackal head. But the most important of all was Ra, god of sun, who had a falcon's head. The pharaohs were ancient Egypt's kings. There were many pharaohs over 3,000 years, but the most famous one was Tutankhamun. Ancient Egyptians believed in life after death, and therefore they were buried with their belongings, furniture, vases, clothes, and even food. They believed that this way these things could be used in the next life. As pharaohs had the greatest power, they wanted to have the best tombs, and they got them. These tremendous pyramids were built for pharaohs' tombs. Inside them, there are many tunnels, chambers, and secret passageways. When they died, pharaohs and some noblemen's bodies were mummified to preserve their bodies after death. These are the famous mummies. Mummies were placed in a sarcophagus, luxurious coffins that were covered in beautiful drawings and hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics were the mysterious Egyptian writings. Their meaning was a mystery for thousands of years, but thanks to archaeologists, we can translate them and partly understand what they want to say. The truth is, everything in ancient Egypt's circle fascinates me. You already know that discovering the past makes us understand the present and improve the future. Goodbye, friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning TV.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.